Welcome to A Lot About a Little video edition. We're going to call it video edition today.
How about that? Well, that is if you're watching this. If you're listening to it, nothing's changed.
Yeah, well, we got brand new video, so hopefully this is going to work. I mean, we don't know.
If you're watching this, it worked.
Yeah, and if I can remember that I have to switch while I'm talking, that's going to be its own monster today. But luckily, we have this thing called post-production, so...
I think I could just try to throw you off and just say random one words to see if I bait you into switching when you're not supposed to. That could be kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're gonna see how it goes today, and if it looks like terribleness, well, then we'll know for next time. But hopefully it looks nice and clean. And
I think the way we bill this for people listening or watching is the video version will be the full cut of the episode, correct? That's what we've decided?
I think so. I mean, that
okay.
I don't know. We're going to see how editing video goes, and we can see if we can then turn that into the podcast. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I think what could be interesting is video is the full uncut episode. Okay, the director's take, so to speak. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And then the audio that we put out on Spotify is like we cut out all the crap that we don't want people to hear. I almost just said something that we would need to cut out. And we do that. So if you're listening on Spotify and you want to hear anything that we may have removed from this episode, head to YouTube. Are we just a lot about a little podcast on there too?
Yes. So the YouTube
I honestly don't know.
The YouTube.
I have to start plugging that in this episode. I probably should figure that out.
Well, if we pull it up here on the old stream, if I can, let's see if I can get this pulled up correctly.
Ye old stream.
Ye old stream.
Are you pulling this up on the video in real time?
I will be. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't want people to see what I'm searching on.
Technology, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so we're at YouTube. We're at A Lot About a Little. We're starting to get all the previous episodes. Reid can't see this, but
no, I have no idea what you're looking at right now.
We're starting to get all the previous episodes built in here, and so we'll post this on here. So if you're watching the video, I would assume that you had found it on YouTube. So
yeah. How many subscribers do we have? Do we have anyone subscribed yet?
We have 3, 2 of which are me, and I assume the other person's you. So
I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I'm subscribed to the channel.
Oh my dude, we got to work on that. Go subscribe at A Lot About a Little Pod on YouTube right now.
I am subscribed. So yeah, the 3
beautiful.
Subscribers is just us.
Beautiful. All right. Well,
great start. But we got the first 3 episodes. This is also a good way if you're someone that maybe this is the first episode that you found of the pod. Go back and you can listen through the previous 10 episodes as they get uploaded to YouTube because we're finding that there's an upload limit, which I think there's a workaround for, but we got to figure it out. But the first 3 are up, and we're going to be putting up more as time goes on.
Is there a workaround? I mean, I don't know how that works.
I think you have to verify something on your account.
I verified the phone number.
It's something. It's the same way that you can change your upload length limit.
Upload length limit? I didn't know there was
the length of video you could upload. I think for a new account there is, but there's some way to work around it, or at least there used to be. I remember needing to do it with an account a couple of years back. I don't know if it's still a thing though.
Yeah, I don't know if that is still a thing. But in any case, go check out the YouTube. Go subscribe. Add A Lot About a Little podcast. Or it's actually just Add A Lot About a Little.
We're going to be putting all of the clips up there as well, correct?
Yes, that is the idea. So
if you are one of those lunatics that doesn't use TikTok or Instagram Reels and you see stuff the 3rd time it's been recirculated through social media on YouTube Shorts, is that what they're called?
Yes.
If you're a big Shorts user, then you can see all the shorts on YouTube. This is where the uncut version comes great.
Everyone is like, what is happening? Reid is just frozen.
Everyone that may be listening is going to be like, what just happened? And you'll have to go to YouTube to find out.
Yeah. But Anyway, glad we got all that sorted out.
Yeah, it's exciting. We're expanding.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
like
this is hard to switch and talk at the same time.
I could not do that if I were you. No way.
I just have to. I have to get it. Like, remember that I have to switch. So there'll be a lot of editing probably for this first one. But
that's okay. You'll get better with it.
Yeah.
I can't multitask to save my life. Like the one day at work, we were hosting these high school baseball games, and I had to change the headshots on the video board and do the PA announcing. And
you had to do the PA announcing?
I did do the PA announcing, yeah, which went rather well. That wasn't the issue. The issue was remembering to change the headshot on the board for whatever kid was up to bat.
Oh, yeah. That'll do it.
Just a minor inconvenience.
Yeah, well, we can get right into what we're going to talk about today besides the YouTube channel, I think.
Yeah.
We had talked about our kind of creative industry that we are a part of previously. And I was kind of wondering, like, when you initially, like, realized what it is you wanted to do. I mean, I had kind of a weird path to, where, like, my direction was heading. And so I just wanted to get your, like, thoughts on when you kind of had that vision in your head of when you wanted to, do what you're doing now.
Sure. Okay. I think for me it goes back to freshman year of high school.
Okay.
I was in I joined a club. My brother was in a club called FBLA. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have not. No.
It's Future Business Leaders of America, and you choose like a business category to like study and compete in, and then you compete at like districts, and you can go to states and nationals and stuff like that.
Oh.
So my freshman year, I signed up for it, and you ranked your 3 categories you wanted, and I was big into tech. I mean, I still am big into tech, but I had like intro to information technology, intro to something other technology, and my third option was digital video production.
Oh,
and
okay.
There were upperclassmen that got my first 2 options. So I got docked down to digital video production. And freshman Reid was not happy about this because I really wanted to do the first 2, and I didn't want to do digital video production.
Yeah.
Okay. So I ended up doing digital video production, find out that I like it a lot, was quite good at it. I ended up going to nationals that year, which was exciting.
Wow.
Got to go down. I think that was
How do you go to national? Like, was it a competition somehow, or how did that work?
So the top 3 at the district competition go on to state, and then the top 3 at the state competition go on to nationals.
Oh, so you just had to make a video or something?
Yeah, so they give you a prompt. That year it was, it was like a promo video for FBLA.
Okay.
You had to make a commercial for it, like what you would use to recruit kids at your high school to join.
Oh, okay.
So then you make it, you submit it, and then everyone presents at districts, and then the top 3 from there move on to state, and then you present at state. There's like 2 rounds there, and then you present at nationals. So the first year, we went to nationals. That was fun. That was I'm pretty sure that was in Chicago, because we were at the McCormick Center.
Oh, yeah. The McCormick Place, actually.
The McCormick Place, excuse me, my bad.
Continue.
Same difference, whatever.
Well, I don't know if it is, but okay.
We were at the McCormick Place, not to piss off any Chicagoans.
Chicagies? The Chicagies?
There's no way it's Chicagies. That's not the real one.
I'm pretty sure that's what you just said, though. The Chicagies.
Chicagoans.
Yeah, Chicagoans is where it's at.
Yeah, not Chicagies. That sounds like a sandwich.
It sounds like a pretty good sandwich, actually.
It could be, yeah. There's no ketchup on it, though. Anyway, so fast forward to sophomore year, do the same event, go back to nationals. I was in Atlanta this time, which was cool. Very warm and humid, but very cool. And by then I'm like, this digital video thing's not that bad. Okay, so I start doing, like, every time there's a project in a class, where you have to do a presentation, I'm asking the teacher if I can do a video. So I'm like,
You're pot committed at this point.
I'm getting a little bit more committed to this. Like I get a camcorder, and I'm starting to make videos and stuff, and like it's going well. I like it.
Yeah.
So get to summer after sophomore year, I toured colleges. I gave myself an extra year because that's when my parents were with my brother, and it was very beneficial.
Yeah, an extra year of what?
Of like time to search. So instead of going for college visits before my senior year, I went before my junior year.
Oh, okay. I see.
So an extra year in high school to, mull over the decision. So
yeah.
I'm looking for majors that would, like be up my alley for video production. And at the time, I really didn't like video editing that much. To me, it was granted, I was using iMovie at the time.
Well, yeah.
You got to start somewhere. But I viewed it as like a very tedious, boring process of putting a video together. I liked shooting this stuff. Like my dream was to just be a camera operator,
Right, yeah.
Okay, so naive Reid's mindset, naive sophomore and junior high school Reid's mindset is, well, I'll go into television because TV is live, therefore you don't need to edit anything.
Yep.
And
okay.
Boy, was I wrong. But end up finding the school that we went to, the radio TV broadcasting program, and end up really liking editing and, eventually doing like a 180 to where I now I like editing video more compared to the live production aspect. I don't mind live production, but I like kind of that content creation process and like post-production and stuff like that more.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into creative stuff. But in terms of how I got into if we want to talk about the sports industry, that happened after my freshman year of college. I was applying for internships, and the nice thing about our major at where we went to school, they get you into radio and TV first year, so you get exposed to a lot of stuff. Obviously,
right?
You had a little bit of a different experience being a transferin.
Yeah.
But I took the radio class and the TV class first semester, and going into that summer, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. If I wanted to do TV or news or radio or sports or what path I wanted to go on. So I was just throwing applications at the wall for internships essentially.
Yeah.
Seeing what would stick. And I got a reply back from a independent baseball team down in Southern Illinois for a production internship. So live production and video work and general creative stuff. And I loved my time there, and since then it's always been sports, and that's really hasn't changed since.
All sports all day for Mr.
All
Reid.
Sports all day. Yep. Yep.
And that was that with baseball? That first
was baseball.
Sports team?
Yep.
Okay. And I mean, before that, did you like baseball at all before that, or was you, like you said, you were just throwing applications blindly at the wall? And had it been, a cricket team, do you think it would have been the same experience?
Probably not the same for cricket. It helped with baseball. Growing up, my family were big baseball fans. We'd go every summer when I was in elementary school to a different MLB ballpark, and we do road trips and stuff like that.
Whoa, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, and I played baseball growing up, so before I started playing tennis in middle school, it was baseball. And then we eventually started watching hockey, but I never played hockey growing up. That was purely from a spectator standpoint, but in terms of sports I played, it was baseball. So that definitely helped. I mean, I hadn't really watched it a lot in high school or college at all leading up to the internship.
Right.
So there was a lot that I don't know, kind of had to re-remember, or relearn kind of from being out of it for so long.
Yeah, you're how many outs did they get again?
Luckily I did not forget that. That would have been bad. But yeah, I mean, baseball, with it being baseball, definitely helped. I mean, that was also just coincidence of the timing. With when I was looking for internships, going into summer, going to baseball season. It's the only major sport that's in season during the summer, so that helped as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I definitely didn't have the same experience that you did in terms of internships, and my path to creative was probably a little bit different than yours. Well, I mean, it definitely was a lot different, because coming out of high school, I enjoyed video stuff. I enjoyed video editing. I did it more so as a hobby, and kind of self-taught myself a lot of things, and went to community college and still really didn't know what I wanted to do. I had heard that I don't know who told me this, someone who was giving me some bum information, but that radio TV people, or there wasn't like a lot of jobs in radio TV in like that industry, and so that's kind of why it took so long for me to get to actually commit to that major, even after transferring to the school that we went to. I had originally transferred as like a digital media major or something.
Oh,
I don't
that's
know.
right. I forgot about that.
I wasn't even like a radio TV major. And so, then I kind of like, I literally, someone came into class and was like, "Hey, is anyone interested in like in the news broadcasts?" And I was like, "Yeah, because at that point I had not really done anything.
You didn't have any exposure to anything.
Literally nothing." And I think I was taking a radio practicum or something too, and like deep down I think I knew that like media and this kind of stuff was what I wanted to do, but I just didn't commit until I did the news, and then I started getting involved with college radio, and I'm like, this is really fun, and I really like this, and before you know it, you're spending hours and hours and hours working on every single broadcast that there is, and then you're like, oh, I guess, well, this is what I'm doing now, and before you know it, I mean, you're teaching other people how to do it too. And I was like, because there's people who had come in before me, like freshmen, who by the time I was leaving or by the time I had graduated, they were I was teaching them things, which I was like, this is kind of weird, and I think though, like, at some point I'd like to get back into live production. You had talked about how you kind of like the video creation aspect now more so than live production, but I think I'm kind of still more a live production kind of person. There's definitely, I do like all video editing, video shooting for my job now. And I mean, there still is a certain live aspects. I'm still involved with some of the live stuff that they do, like with like the president, and they do like a show every week that I'm still involved in and stuff. But I'd like to, I think, kind of stay involved with that and be in there, even if it's just like on the side. It's just something that I really like, and I definitely think that like I was incorrect in thinking that there aren't any jobs. I mean, I think that it definitely helps to have an internship like you had. I mean, your internship led to essentially your job that you have now, indirectly, right? I mean, based on meeting people.
Pretty directly, honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Because my boss from the internship is my boss now.
Oh. I feel like I didn't. No, I knew that. I knew that. I don't know why I thought differently, but yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely like a strange road, and like especially if you don't know exactly what you want to do, because I still don't even really know exactly what I want to do. You know what I mean? Like, I graduated and I have a job in this industry, but like, is this, I didn't come in being like, I want to work for a professional baseball team when I am older. When I grow up, I want to do this, I still, it kind of wasn't like that, and it's tough to try and figure that out. And it's like, you just kind of have to take opportunities that are given to you, and you and I both know people who went to our program, didn't know what they want to do, graduated, and still are struggling to find...
And still don't know what they want to do.
Well, right. And
yeah.
And so I think it's great that both of us were kind of able to find that, something, or at least get a job, whether it's our dream job or not is kind of irrelevant, because it'll still open up more doors in the future. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I feel like there's such a fascination around the whole concept of a dream job as well. And like I used to always have the goal of like I want to work for an MLB or NHL team. Like that was my big goal. And like the more I thought about it, the more the concept of a dream job just like sounded really weird to me. Like I don't really want to be someone that like works to live.
Right.
No, lives to work. I got that backwards. I don't want to be someone that lives to work. I want to work to live. So like I don't know, maybe my dream job is just something that pays decently well, is something I like to do and still allows me to have time and like money for hobbies and stuff that I like to spend time outside of work doing.
Yeah.
And like maybe that sounds mundane to people, and like that's not meaning that I'm, not setting high standards for myself, because I am,
Right, yeah.
But I think it's just realizing that dream like job or dream scenario, can come in a lot of different like forms than what I previously thought. Like the dream doesn't need to follow, working for that one company either,
Yeah. So would you say, like, because I feel like I'm very, I don't know if passionate's the word. I am passionate, but like I really enjoy working. I really like, for all the things that we did, the live events and stuff at school, that wasn't work. That was like a hobby that was work. You know what I mean? And
correct. Yeah.
And I think that is like, if you can find, and that's what I've always been told, if I could find something that I love to do so much that it's like you're not going to work every day, you're having fun, for however long, then you're not really working. And so I almost feel the opposite of kind of what you said, in that I do want to, I mean, it's a dream job, but it's also like a hobby. It's what I like to do, and it's like, and when I'm not working, it's like, this is still what I want to do. I want it. That's why we're doing this. This isn't work. This is like, we still want to make videos and do stuff like this.
Yeah.
And so I would tend to disagree kind of with what you said. I don't know.
I still love what I do.
Right.
And like it's a fantastic job. I get to go out there and I get to make stuff for, a professional baseball team every day. And that's obviously not something that I take for granted. And I still love what I do. But I think shifting my mindset to, what I talked about has also helped me avoid burnout.
Right.
Because I think when I were to frame something as my dream job, or, that mindset, it would almost like force me to work. I don't want to say like extra hard, but you almost try too hard, whereas if you view it almost as like, and like, I feel like when I was trying too hard, I was trying to, push myself kind of beyond what I had, and I needed to make that progression at like a different rate, and still progress, but still progress in like what I had currently, So I think that helped to avoid burnout, where I'm not just going constantly in pursuit of that big dream. I can go when I need to, but I also know, like, all right, like I've been working myself really hard recently. I need to, let my foot off the gas a little bit and give me some time to recharge as well, which I think is really important, because, I follow a lot of sports creatives on Twitter and, social media and stuff that are, posting about this kind of like grind mentality, where you need to be going constantly with what you're doing and what you're making. And like, that's like great and all, but it's going to lead to burnout, like you're going to get burnt out. It takes a special like sort of person to be able to do that constantly. And I think a lot of people don't realize that that's such a small, like, niche person that can do that, where they're just going constantly.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like, I guess when we were doing, I mean, there was a time there before, well, but like before the undergrad, before I graduated with my undergrad, it was like every day, 10 to 12 hours a day, just like there working on stuff. But that was a lot of work, but there was always that end goal in sight. There was always that end.
Yes.
There's something in the end, you know. It wasn't just blindly doing all this stuff, you know, and that's just what is expected of you all the time. It's like once undergrad ends, all that will help me in the future, but then we want to work hard now so we don't have to, I don't want to say don't have to work as hard later, but it will open up more opportunities and more doors for you later on. You know, and that I think is one of the hard things to convey to young, I don't want to sound like an old person, but a younger people, at least that I've seen, because I spent one semester as a grad assistant for that department, and like trying to get them to understand, like, yeah, it's a lot of work. It definitely is. But all this is going to help you. It's not, I mean, it's going to help you in the future. And it's going to be like, you know, you're going to regret that you didn't do it. And like, I, again, hate to use that because then you just sound like someone who's nagging, you know, to these kids, where it's like they don't understand that you do have to work hard. You do have to put in the work in order to have those opportunities laid out for you in the future. So
I think there's, I mean, it goes back to social media and, you know, that overall perception where you see, you know, people your age or even younger than you having these big opportunities, and, you know, it looks like they just got it overnight, you know, and I think when I see like that, my mind goes two different places. It goes, all right, they worked their butt off to get there, you know, and put in the time, obviously, because you need to know what you're doing in this industry to succeed, you know. But I also remind myself that a lot of these people that have these opportunities, you know, it's knowing the right people. You know, you can have all the skills you want. You can be the best, you know, person Photoshop or the best video editor that there is out there, but if no one knows that your work exists, you know, then it's not going to get you anywhere. You know, you need to have that balance of skill plus also connections, you know.
Skills, connections, and marketability for yourself.
Exactly.
And again, that's what all that stuff is even now, as after graduation, everything that you work on now is just building your personal portfolio to sell yourself in the future. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that, I mean, it's definitely something I'm still thinking about, is like, okay, these are things to put on my personal website that I'm proud of, that I was a part of, you know, or I was instrumental in the planning and execution of this video, of this piece of content, you know, and to say, this is something that I can do over and over and over again because this was my idea, you know, and this is what I can do, essentially. And that's what employers are looking for. You know, that's what got me this job. That's what will get me future jobs. You know, they're looking at things that you've done in the past, and having that database is of the utmost importance. You know what I mean?
It's very much an industry where, you know, chances are you can send out a ton of blind applications and you're not going to get a lot of results back, you know? Right. Because there's just a lot of people applying for them, especially once you get to the big four leagues. There's, you know, hundreds of applicants for those jobs. But it's, you know, it's the person you know that may get you in, but then it's those skills you have that'll keep you there.
Yeah. I know you've definitely said that in the past, and I really like that. I don't know if that's something you came up with,
reminding
or if that's
myself. Well, it can be super frustrating when you're applying for jobs and you're sending stuff out there and you're just getting nothing back. You know, and you're like, oh, you know, because it's demoralizing, because you feel like you have a good portfolio. You know, you feel like you're always putting that best foot forward. You know, you're sending out your best portfolio, your best work examples, you know, whatever it may be. and not getting anything back can be really demoralizing. But you got to remember that, you have tens, hundreds of people applying for these jobs.
Right.
And maybe, so-and-so happened to, know someone from college or something at that company or something, and that gives them the leg up that they had. Like those connections are big, and that's why, where I think there's always a talk of, like if you need a degree in the creative industry,
Yeah.
And I think that's where college can come in handy to get those internships, to get those connections,
Yeah.
and to help expand your network. Obviously, I'm not saying you can't build a network without college. You can, absolutely. Especially in the age of social media, just, sliding into a DM, can open an avenue that you wouldn't have expected.
Right.
But I know personally for me, college helped me, build those connections to get my work in front of the right people to, get to where I am now.
Yeah, no, I mean, totally. I mean, that's something that you and I both saw. That's what helped me get my internship, is connections that people at school had.
Yeah.
Even more so than anything else, than the resume. Like you said, it's all about who you know and what you've done in the past, and if those people are willing to vouch for you, and who those people know.
Exactly.
Luckily,
yeah, because the big thing with the connections too is you may be in a spot where, okay, I know someone at this company, I see this position, I'm slightly underqualified, but I know this person, so I might as well take a shot at it anyway.
Right.
Because they may be willing to go to whoever's hiring for that and saying like, hey, like I know this person, maybe doesn't have the years required that we're looking for, but they've done X, Y, Z, and they've proven to me that they can, adapt and learn on a job too, which is big.
Yeah, and like I said, it's like you. What do I want to say? You like knowing those people and knowing what you've done, and them knowing you. I mean, that shows even if you don't think it does, because if you put in the work, even for something that you don't think matters too much. Yeah, that may matter in the long run. That's seen by your superiors wherever you're at, whether that's school, whether that's you're an unpaid intern. It doesn't matter. That's being seen, and that's an important thing to remember in everything that you do. Is like you should always be putting your best foot forward, and attempting to do your best work, because you never know who's watching, is essentially what I'm trying to say.
And those connections come into, because those are people that not only see the end result, but they see how you work through the process.
Yeah.
They see like how you overcame any obstacles or stuff like that, whereas your portfolio just shows the end result, whereas those connections, they know, I guess, kind of like the whole story for the kind of worker you are.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, that was a pretty good conversation.
Absolutely.
Before we
I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah, we'll have to. Well, I think we'll have to talk about it more, because there's so much. There's so much to say, about this industry, and like we can only, obviously you and I are both just starting.
Yeah,
we have a certain perspective, and it would also be interesting to get the perspective of someone who has been in the industry for 20, 30 years to see how it's changed and where they think it's going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I could like talk for a half hour just about burnout and work-life balance as well, but that's
maybe that'll be another episode. But before we run out of too much time here, I wanted to talk about our question last week.
Oh, yes.
So we can bring that up on the screen here.
What was the question? Oh, bring it up on the screen. The
question was, what hobby do you want to try? What hobby do you want to try? And we did have one response 3 days ago: reading, singing, lifting weights, archery, boxing, and photography.
It's a lot. That person's got their plate full.
I mean, that is quite a lot. So
I hope they already know how to read.
Well, yeah.
I assume they did, because they read the question and answered it. So,
well, they might have just listened to. They might have just listened to.
No, that's true. Yeah.
But how are they? They had to search for it, right? I guess.
I guess. I don't know.
Oh boy.
Singing? Do you sing, Logan?
You don't want to hear me sing, Reid.
I used to. I don't much anymore.
Yeah, I was in the
Lifting
choir,
weights.
but I was more so in the choir as the equipment manager.
There you go. I mean, they all need
manage equipment. Well, yeah,
one.
and that was actually my introduction into live production, because we would set up audio and everything for the concerts, and so
mine was the community play running the spotlight.
Oh,
yeah.
You weren't in the play?
No, I wasn't in the community play, but I ran the spotlight.
Okay.
That's how I convinced my parents to get my first smartphone, because I had the slider phone at the time. And I told my parents, I'm like, well, if I'm at the play and you need to come pick me up, this old phone's just not working to get in contact with you when I need to.
Oh, no, you pulled the phone's not working trick.
Oh, I did.
Oh, gosh.
Yep, that's how I got my first iPhone. Look at that.
Oh, man.
Well, sorry. What about lifting weights? We obviously know that you're absolutely jacked.
I know. You want to meet my two friends, Jack and Hammer?
Oh, man. What about archery? Have you ever shot a bow and arrow?
I used to be really into archery, actually. I had a compound bow and a long bow that I would shoot in my backyard. We have quite a lot. I don't even know if you saw my backyard, but
I didn't know.
Literally nothing going on in the backyard, like no trees or anything. So it's just a wide open space back there.
Nice.
And so we would put the target on one end and we would shoot from the other end. But we would put it on these stools that we had in the garage, and they were like covered in fabric. And so we just, absolutely destroyed these stools.
Oh,
that my
I
dad
can imagine.
Had, because we were putting holes upon holes in them with the arrows. So we did actually. Recently, I think for last Christmas, we finally got my dad some new stools for the garage, because it was time to get rid of the archery riddled hold stools that we had in there.
I think the last time I shot a bow was in middle school. We had an archery unit in gym class.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty fun. What about boxing? You a big boxer?
That's too dangerous for me.
I agree. And photography, we both know a thing or two about that.
Yeah, I had to say, I actually, I didn't tell you this today. I am not a photographer. I made that very clear when I started my job. I can take pictures. Anyone can stand there and a monkey could take some pictures. But I had to take pictures today of the Congresswoman came to my place of work today.
Was that today, or was that?
We had a senator not too long ago, and now we have a congresswoman.
Did you take the senator photos?
No. Those were phone photos. I took the senator videos though, so if you see
those were phone photos.
The photos were expertly edited by yours truly. Thank you very much.
You edited the phone photos?
Yes.
I remember seeing those pictures, and they didn't look bad.
Yes, because
sometimes I feel like
sometimes I know what I'm doing.
I thought that you took them with your nice camera.
No, dude, come on now.
You edited them at least, so you get a little bit of share in it.
Yeah. Well, I made that little highlight reel video too, so that was my role in that. But
the highlight reel, I don't remember that one.
Oops, I hit the auto trans button. We're gonna go with that. This is going to be live, raw. Not good switching today. That's all right.
Yeah,
hit the auto
I'm not a big fan
again.
of the word raw when referring to stuff like that, but that's okay.
Okay. All right.
You can see that part in the video, because we probably cut it out of the Spotify.
On that note, I think it's time to wrap up today. We have a couple different social media platforms now. In addition to YouTube, we are not just exclusively on Spotify. Add a lot about a little on YouTube. Reid will hit you with the other couple platforms that we have.
And we're on TikTok and Instagram at a lot about a little pod with clips, and you can be notified when we release a new episode. But Spotify and YouTube now. That's fun. And hopefully other channels in the future.
Yeah. So
TBD.
I would say, in the video version, comment down below what social media platforms we should join. That should be our question of the week.
Oh,
what
that's
social media platforms
Do we need to get on Threads?
Oh, God. How about X? What are you going to do about what X going to give it to you? You know what I'm saying?
We aren't on X. Yeah. What about Mastodon?
I don't even know what that is.
It's a Twitter alternative.
Oh.
Excuse me, X alternative.
I mean, X. I'm big into the carrier pigeons now, so
the carrier pigeons.
We might just go with
good old snail mail. If you would like us to send a CD of every episode to your address, please don't.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I think it's time to head out. We will catch you on the next one.
See ya.